So now let's talk about sweeping along 3D paths. So here I have three set of geometries and I'll start with the easiest one. That's this one. So here, and as you can see, we have this 3D curve here, which is not along just one single plane and it's made entirely in this 3D space. And we have the sketch profile. Now we'll sweep it. So let's go to sweep and select the sketch profile, which is this one, and then the path. And here we are, it will just create this sweep. So even if you have your path along the 3D space, not on just one single plane, SolidWorks will still create this sweep profile. So with that, I'll click OK, and here we are. It's very easy to create this. Now, as you can see, we have several of these different faces. If you just want to merge them into one face, you can modify this. Go to Option and select Merge Tangent Faces. Click OK, and now we have a smooth profile like this. So that's sweep. All right, now let's just talk about this profile here. So here also we are going to sweep, and I'll select sweep, and I'll start the profile, which is this ellipse, then path, which is this one, and then guide curve. So here, this is the guide curve, and we have a simple profile here. But now let's see an option called start and end tangency. Now this is the option which we haven't yet discussed, so just expand this one, and here we have options for starting point and end point tangency. Now let's change it for end point. So end tangency type, it's set to none. Let's change it to path tangent, and apparently nothing changed, right? But let's zoom into this area, and now you'll see the difference. So I'll just zoom into this area and I'll move it kind of like this. So just look at this point where this sweep is ending. With this path tangent selected, the sweep will remain normal to this end profile. So whatever this end profile is, the sweep will be perpendicular right here. But if you change it to none, we are going to get this normal sweep, which will follow this guide curve. So if you want it to remain normal right here at the end point, then in the tangency type, select path tangent. There we are. That's how it works. Similarly, if we look at the starting point here, once again, it's going to follow the guide curve properly. But if you just want to make it once again tangent, then go to start tangency type and select path tangent. And now once again here, it is normal to this cross section at the starting point. So that's the start and end tangency type. So basically in this case, this is our path and the surface will try to keep itself tangent at this starting point, and that's what this path tangent is all about. So when you select this option, the tangent option, it will remain tangent with respect to the path at the starting and end point, whatever you select. So these are very small changes that you can use and you can apply in your drawing. Just click OK, and this is the kind of drawing which you will get with these small changes. Finally, let's go to this one. So here we have two sketches, and I'm going to use this to make a 3D sketch, and then later we'll use it to sweep along that 3D path. So currently we have this on one of the planes here, and then this sketch is on different plane. So of course not anything strange here, but now let's go to curve and select project curve. Now in this case, I'm going to project this sketch on this one so that we end up with a 3D curve. So I'll select this and then this one, and now we have a 3D curve. So when you look at this from this side, we have got this, and when you look at it from top, we have this. So that's our 3D curve which we are going to get. Now click OK, and we have our 3D curve here. Now using this, I'm going to once again sweep a profile. So let's go to sweep, and here I'll select sketch profile, but before that we need to create the profile which we need to sweep. Of course you can sweep a circular profile, but that's not what we want. So let's exit out of this, and now let's see how we can create a geometry right here. Now in this case, the first requirement is a plane. We don't have any plane, and we simply cannot select a plane which will always end on this 3D profile, because this 3D profile is spanning across two different planes. So in this case, I'll start with sketch, and I'll just select one of the planes here. Maybe in this case, I'll select front plane. All right, and on this plane, I'm just going to create a point. Now I'll just make sure that this is coincident, but as you can see, it isn't. If you change this angle, you will see that it's actually not coincident. So it is coincident from that plane, and if you look at this point from that perspective, it certainly is coincident in this direction, but it's not actually on this curve. So in this case, I'll just delete this coincident constraint, and now I'll apply a constraint which will move it exactly on this curve, and that constraint is called Pierce relation. So I'll select this point and then this curve, and now here we have the Pierce relation. When you select this relation, it will automatically move it on this curve in such a way that it remains connected here as well. So it's not only on the plane, but also it's connected on this curve. So it's exactly here, and now we can use it as a reference to create a plane. All right, let's exit out of this sketch. I'll go to Feature, Reference Geometry, and Plane. That's our first reference, and second reference is this point, and OK. So finally, we now have a plane which we can use to create a simple sketch. All right, let's go to Sketch. This is the plane, and let's create one. And in this case, I'll select this ellipse. So with this, here, let's just create maybe this kind of ellipse. And from this side, I'll just make it smaller and slightly smaller from here as well. All right, and we have the ellipse. All right, now using this ellipse, we will create our sweep profile. So to do that, go to Features and Sweep and select the profile, which is this ellipse. And for the path, here we are. We've got the path, and this will create this kind of sweep profile, which is once again along the 3D curve. So this profile was along 3D, and this is how you can just basically sweep it. Now let's make it a little different, and here let's add twist angle, which you already know about. So I'll just go to Options here, and here we have no twist, so I'll select Specify Twist Value option, and we can specify number of revolutions. So I'll select number of revolutions, and let's make it 6 and Tab key. There we are. We've got this twisted profile now. That's what I'm going to be using for this example. Click OK, and here it is. Here we have the sweep profile, which is along this 3D curve and also twisted profile. So in this way, you can use sweep feature to create geometries along 3D paths.